This is Frankie Abbruzzino with The Scoop News, and I came across an interesting article, and I'll put the link above this video to the Herald, and it covered how many Houstonians are concerned about the new developments, which they believe are the root cause to a lot of the flooding. Now, granted, there's more. There's the storm of the century. There's the another issue within this article is the drainage problem, the sewerage. And is it built? Is it built to a capacity that can handle something like this storm? Now, most cannot handle this type of storm, but they feel that the drainage system wasn't enough to support even the basic storms that come and roll through there, which is something that a lot of cities face when we talk about infrastructure. And primarily because if you look at the fact, and I'm going to do some comparisons with here in Sarasota County, if you look at the infrastructure, a lot of times we're going out there and we're overly developing. We're putting up all these developments everywhere, but we're not taking in any money, any additional monies to implement a better infrastructure, albeit roads. A good example is in the proposed comp plan for the city of Venice. They are going from a C to a D road, which means D is acceptable. That's what we want. We're fine with that. And one of the concerns brought up, besides just that factor, is the fact that now, if you do that, you will not be able to go to the developers and ask for any money when they're developing something that will impact those roads, because you've gone from a C to a D, and somehow that factors into it. And so you see the same with just the infrastructure and sewers. You don't see them taking in the money. And actually, there was a council member in one of the local cities here said, when you put up a new development, you're actually losing money. And he went through how much money is brought in with a new development or a new home compared to the actual cost, and the cities are losing money, which a lot of people do not realize. So back to this article, a lot of individuals are looking at that. Now, one of the factors out there is there's essentially no zoning laws. They have a real hands-off approach to urban planning. So a lot of people say, how can you compare the two? We have zoning laws here. Yes, we do, but there's sort of a hands-off or pro-development approach. Something I've always said, if there's development there, if there's zoning there, if there's an ordinance there, it's there for a reason, and it shouldn't be changed, especially if it's going to impact neighborhoods. Now, they have this thing that, well, if you're only within so many feet, then you're impacted, blah, blah, blah. When I buy a house knowing what the ordinances are. I don't expect the government to come in and change them. And here locally, you see that all too often. There's been some battles lately where they've won at the county level. One, for example, is Celery Field. But I've always advocated that these ordinances are there for a reason. Homeowners buy this for a reason. The people out of Border Road bought knowing what the ordinances were. They had no idea that the city of Venice would get greedy, see revenue dollars, and change those ordinances. And when they change these ordinances to appease the developers, to avoid lawsuits, is it bringing about flooding? And a lot of people would say, yes, it is. And you're seeing it. I got to tell you, I obviously I'm all over the news. From down in south in Lee County to up north in Hillsborough County, individuals are attributing a lot of the flooding that we've seen to the development. You're hearing it over in Houston too, where they're essentially overdeveloping. And when they're doing this developing, they're not preparing, they're not coming up with a solution for the drainage, new drainage systems. The way the homes are being developed, they're taken away from a lot of the natural abilities out there, the natural abilities for the land to absorb the water. And many environmentalists are out there saying that. You're just not seeing it. Some are building their homes up on a higher level, and the drainage is seeping down to those poor folks at the bottom. And I know here personally, the folks out of Mayaca are saying the same thing. You know, again, ordinances, they're there for a reason. You don't need to change them. Keep them the way they are. When a person bought their house 15 years ago, it was under the understanding that ordinance was X, and that the city officials or county officials were not going to change it. Drainage. Build out your infrastructure. I can't tell you guys, locally, we're building houses left and right. Yet we're laying off firefighters in Venice and police. There's not enough. You would think when you're adding, 20,000 houses or whatever the number is, I'm just throwing numbers out there, that you would, A, accommodate for more police, more fire to handle those. The roads, instead of going from C to D, you would be adding roads, making roads better. Sewer. This is all infrastructure, folks. The sewer system would be better. You probably wouldn't be on the side of Venice Hospital fighting to keep Sarasota Hospital out of here. Food for thought. This has been Frank Abbruzzino with The Scoop News.